Hello, and welcome to Cub Scouting from Home. I'm Cooper with Waterloo District and Capital Area Council. Today, we'll be going through one of the adventures for our Webelos, so our scouts in 4th and 5th grade. This adventure is called Project Family and has 6 requirements in total, and we'll go through them each step by step to tell you how you can get this adventure figured out and finished pretty quickly. Now, the first requirement says to interview a grandparent, family elder, or family friend about what life was like while they were growing up. I remember back when I was doing this project for my Webelos requirements, I talked to my grandmother. She talked about how air conditioning was first becoming a thing when she was little, and how the original AC unit that her family had was about the size of this microwave, and her dad actually had to bolt it into the side of the house and hook it up to a window. It would only work for that room that it was hooked up to that window in. So, what the rest of the house had was either a ceiling fan or one really big fan that they had up in the attic to help push the breeze down through to the entire house. And it's really just wild as you talk to them, seeing all the stuff that we take for granted now is pretty recent, all things considered, maybe even just in the past 20, 30 years. It's really neat just to see how far we've come in such a short amount of time. Now, the second requirement says to, with members of your family or a family friend, discuss some family names, history, traditions, and culture, and to do one of the following. You can A. Create a family tree that goes back 3 generations. B. Make a poster or web page that shows the places that some of your family members are from. Or C. Choose a special celebration or holiday that some of your family members participate in, and create either a poster, picture, or photo slideshow about it. Personally, I made my family tree. It is planned out here. As you can see, it goes back 3 generations, and I have it all separated out into the different generations, kind of help make it look a little cleaner. Now, there are some fun things you can do with a family tree. You hear all these different terms of, great uncles and great aunts and first cousins, second cousins, cousins once removed. What does that all mean? Well, a family tree can help you figure all of that out. So, I have me right here in the middle, along with my dad's side of the family over here, and my mom's side of the family over here. So, on my generation level, we start over with my sister and her husband, who's my brother-in-law. And then we go back up 1 generation to my parents, my dad and my mom. And then my parents have all of their brothers and sisters, my aunts and uncles. And then those aunts and uncles have their kids, my cousins. Now, these are also my first cousins, and we'll get back to what that exactly means here in just a little bit. Going back up from my parents, aunts, and uncles, we have their parents, my grandparents. If they are on your dad's side, your dad's parents, those are your paternal grandparents, while your mom's parents are your maternal grandparents. Now, you see that your grandparents may also have siblings, and they would be your parents' aunts and uncles. But what are they to you? Well, they're the same generation as your grandparents, so they're your great aunts and your great uncles. And this is when we run into a neat thing that I have found called the G rule, which is that to see how many generations are between you and another family member, count how many G's are in their title. So your grandparent, that's 1 G, there's 1 generation in between you. Your great-great-great-great-grandparent, that's 4 G's. 4 generations between you and them. And that is why my cousins are my first cousins, because we are tied back to 1 grandparent. 1 G, 1 generation in between. They're my first cousins. So, I'll have cousins who connect back at a great-grandparent. 2 G's, 2 generations between me and them. They're my second cousins. Now, you see that there's one more generation here after me, because these are my cousins' kids. They're my first cousins because we connect back at a grandparent, but they are once removed because they're one generation offset from me. So, that's what happens when you find, if they're your second cousin twice removed, then it means that you share a great-grandparent, and that they are two generations, either younger than you or older than you. See, none of it's really that hard once you start getting on into it, and you can see it all kind of pictured out here in this nice big tree. The third requirement says to show your understanding of duty to family by creating a chart listing jobs that you and other family members have at home. Choose 3 of the jobs that you're responsible for and chart them for 2 weeks. This one's really simple. Any kind of chore that you do around the house, helping with the dishes, taking out the trash, cleaning your room, anything like that, just every time you do it, write it down on a piece of paper with a date, and there you go. 2 weeks, show what you do around the house, perfect. Get this taken care of, no problem. You're already doing the chores anyway, might as well get some scout credit for it while you're at it. The fourth requirement says to select a job that belongs to another family member and help that person complete it. This one's also really easy. You just go up to your parents when they're doing something around the house and ask, hey, can I help with that? Something easy as, wiping down the table after dinner, or maybe helping them cook a little bit, getting a meal ready, anything like that, it's going to go over great. It's a really easy requirement here to get done. The fifth requirement says, with the help of an adult, inspect your house and its surroundings. Make a list of hazards or security problems that you find. Correct one problem and tell why you did it. So, in getting ready for this, I walked around my apartment to see what I could find that maybe needed fixing. There was one that was pretty obvious. This grate fell off one of my AC vents a couple weeks ago, so I need to get that screwed back up into place, so that way it doesn't come crashing down and bonk me in the head in a couple weeks. Now, the sixth and final requirement says to complete one of the following. Either A, hold a family meeting to plan an exciting family activity, or B, complete a list of community service or conservation projects, present them to your family, pick one of those projects, plan it, and complete it. A really easy way to get this requirement done right now is to plan a family game night. You just need everyone together and play a board game, play a card game, dominoes, heck, play charades. Anything that you can think of that's just something you and your family do together. It'll be fun, it'll be a great way to spend the night, and who knows, you might find out you're really good at charades. You never know. And with that, we've completed all 6 requirements for Project Family. Along with this video, there'll be a link to the PDF workbook version of this adventure, so you can follow it out on paper as well. And if you want to make sure that you are up to date with what's happening with Scouts right now, you can follow us on Facebook at Waterloo Scout District. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll be back soon with another Cub Scouting from Home adventure.